Hello and welcome back to Talk of the Apprentice, a mini-series from Talk of the Townsends where we talk about the latest series of The Apprentice. I'm Benedict Townsend.
And I'm Hannah Townsend.
Oh, an angelic voice to start us out. Before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. I do want to check that we all have the proper credentials, qualifications for talking about this episode. I don't suppose you have any, GCSEs or anything, Hannah?
A star or... Actually, it's not even A star, is it? It's A.
In what, though?
Specifically in drama.
Okay, well then you are an expert in everything and we can proceed.
And we can proceed. Something we enjoyed at the top of the episode was May the odds be with us.
Yeah, I love that as a saying.
What's the actual saying? May the odds be ever in our favour is Hunger Games.
Yeah, and then I think they're also kind of saying, may the force be with you. They've combined about 9 different sayings there.
She's doing a bit of a me.
That is a very you.
May the odds be with us.
That's a very Hannah saying.
Was it Liam who said they were like, do you speak Spanish on the way to the task? And he was like, I barely speak English.
Yeah, that was pretty good from him.
Funny, witty, we enjoyed.
It's a good joke, Liam.
It's a good joke. You're going to want to take that deal, Liam.
It's a good deal, Dad. It's so fun to say that.
This was a really very, very good episode. Benedict and I have looked at the numbers because obviously we make this content, etc. But I was saying, like, you know, the White Lotus is our pie. Our big pie, right? Because I feel like more people watch the White Lotus.
What do you mean our big pie?
When talking about...
That's a Hannah-ism right
When talking
there.
about pies, I felt like going into this, the White Lotus was going to bring in more viewers because I assumed more people were watching White Lotus. But it turns out, guys, people are watching The Apprentice.
Yes, also I looked it up, like millions more people watch The Apprentice. I guess because The Apprentice is also like free on TV, but it's huge. It's such a big show. The amount of people in my life who've like come to me and sneakily said like, you know, I watched The Apprentice. Like it's a dirty secret.
Honestly, so many people watch the show. I go out to a bar tonight. And if you're of age, and tell your friends and ask your friends.
Go into a bar, stand on the bar and scream top of your lungs.
No, ask people round a table per million viewers, how many million watch The Apprentice and how many people watch White Lotus, and more people watch The Apprentice.
Yes, and it'd be great if we had those numbers in front of us. But of course we don't, and we're not going to look them up.
Google what the numbers are before you start this, unlike me.
Also, it's a bloody good time to be an Apprentice fan. I think I can say it. This is probably one of the greatest series of The Apprentice of all time. Like, the last 4 or 5 episodes have all been amazing.
They have been wonderful. Whenever you see the candidates in the first look, it's always like, oh, are we going to love these people? But we do. And so many people are watching The Apprentice. It's unreal.
And it's just so funny. Like last week was like was it last week that we said was like one of the best episodes ever? This week was so funny.
It was.
So funny. It was all about hot sauce.
Hot sauce. So Mia got PM. There was a little battle for PM.
Mia, again, we can't praise her too much in the show. She puts herself forward.
She does. She puts herself forward. Any sort of food challenge, she's very confident in.
But then I suppose so does Anissa. That is another thing that she is very known for.
Unfortunately, they split up the teams and then they were on the same team because it was like they both want the pie that we have. They both want the pie, for example.
I love this pie analogy. It's so clear.
An interaction I really loved in this week's Apprentice was when Anissa was complaining to Jordan. She was like, she's kind of left me high and dry to create the hot sauce. And he was like, well, that is what you do. So she just trusted you with something that you're confident in. And I like the pushback of that because everyone is always looking for a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And she wanted to be like, how would I create a hot sauce? It's like, no, she literally does create sauces.
Yeah.
So why can I not, if you're a marketing expert and I am not on, I can't be in two places at once as PM. If you're a marketing expert and I take you on the marketing team, I would expect a decent logo. That's what you do day in, day out. And I really appreciated him pushing back and kind of putting her in her place a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And we were saying this last week. We've reached the point of the show where they're all just being really nitpicky because they're trying to undermine each other. They're all game playing. I mean, all the stuff at the end of the episode, not to jump ahead, but them going, there should have been an apostrophe on banging. It's like, come on, that's not a thing. And I think she was trying to do that a bit there. She was trying to lay some groundwork of like, well, if this goes wrong, she shouldn't have just put me in charge. And Jordan, he had such a wonderfully polite put down where he was like, she's recognized your skills and trusts you.
Yeah.
And it's like, nice. It's a compliment, but also it's like, no, I'm not letting you do that.
I think he actually said she was confident to give it to you, given that's what you do.
Yeah. I mean, that is a shutdown,
and also, that's the fastest way of saying that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In as few words, that is the fastest sentence that you could deliver that in, and I appreciate that.
That is a conversation ender.
Yeah.
But like without tension.
I hate it when you want to bitch with someone and they shut you down, though.
I know.
I'd be fuming. And then it's awkward because then it's like, well, I'm the bad person.
Yeah, you know, and you're like, oh, you know, that hot sauce. And they're like, I thought it was good. And you're like, yeah, me too, actually.
No, it actually did
yeah.
have some redeeming qualities. Obviously, a bit annoying about that, but then blah, blah, blah.
That's not what I'm looking for in a friend. What I'm looking for, not to cross over, is I want a friendship like those 3 women on the White Lotus.
What I don't understand about Malika and the A and GCSE drama is why are none of the other contestants calling her out of like, that's not relevant, or laughing? I would laugh. I don't think I could keep it professional. What we did GCSEs 10, 15 years ago? I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Well, first of all, I didn't realise she did a GCSE drama. I must have missed that that subtle hint. But yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe they cut it out or whatever, but like Amber Rose, to her credit, was being very diplomatic, very patient with her, talking to her kind of like a child, just being like, now, Malika, we've literally just agreed this script.
Yeah.
I know you have a GCSE. Like, way more patient than I would have been. It was crazy. She remembered she was on TV.
But I did GCSE biology, but if I was on a plane and someone was taken ill and they were like,
Get that woman a scalpel.
Is there a doctor in the house? I wouldn't put myself forward because I wouldn't feel equipped.
Yes, but if you were on a plane and someone was like, what's the powerhouse of the cell?
Oh,
Help.
I'm not sure where to place Malika because I saw online she came out with a video where she was talking about Tablegate, where she was asked to lay the table.
Oh, yeah.
And she went to Mia and she said, I need help. And Mia said, I don't think laying a table is what was the word? I don't think it takes a lot of self-initiative to lay a table, is what Mia said. And Malika did a whole video explaining that she was like held back. You know, it's probably productions and fiddling there, right? She was held back and she wasn't allowed to go to the table. It looked like they had hours to do it, but actually she only had about 20 minutes, etc., etc. And I was like, you know what? She was saying she'd worked abroad. She'd been in lots of different companies. And I was like, in that video, I was like, she actually seems very competent. And maybe that, you know, she was saying, I've been made to look like a fool here.
Yes.
Obviously, I can lay a table, but I was given no time. The wine actually wasn't out for that long, etc., etc. So I saw that video and I thought, do you know what? Give her a break. She probably can lay a table. And then the GCSE drama stuff happened. And I was like, I don't know. It's not that I don't think she's competent, but I don't know.
I mean, she said herself, and it was very funny. She was like, I think I am disruptive. Which is like, you don't admit to it. That's really funny. I thought it was quite funny when she made that video. First of all, that she did drop. She was like, you know, I'm competent. I've worked abroad. It's like, good for you. That's not relevant. It's so funny to be like, you know, I've done lots of things. I've worked abroad. It's like, well, anyone can work abroad. That doesn't mean you're like good at laying a table.
I do think it takes a certain level of courage to work abroad.
You don't know what she was doing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know,
She could have been
she was any good at it.
International assassin for all we know. Can I say, actually, we've reached a really interesting place with The Apprentice where because of social media, every single person makes an account the second they're on the show. All of them are posting throughout the series. All of them are constantly making videos going, I've been stitched up by the production. I got a bad edit. I think the truth is always kind of somewhere in between, right? I think the production sometimes does stitch them up. I think sometimes it's like, nah, mate, you just made a dumb decision. Like, they can't CGI you being incompetent at times. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can do cheeky edits, but like sometimes you have just done a dumb move. You know? I wonder if the people who make the show, that's got their back up a bit, that like everyone who is taking part in the show is also sort of actively fighting the show while it's on.
I think in this series of The Apprentice, we've seen more pushback than ever before from the contestants, and maybe rightly so. They are all on social media. They are all posting. A lot of them, it's a strategic move to try and grow a business or grow a following. But I think with that increased presence on social media comes with backlash, right? If you're making me look stupid in an edit, they shouldn't be speaking out against production in the sense that they will have signed NDAs that say they're not allowed to talk about, you know, filming and cuts, etc. But if you've not won and you're out and you've got nothing to lose, and you're made to look like an idiot and like you can't set a table, you're going to go on social media. What are they going to do? The BBC aren't going to sue you.
You make a good point about NDAs because they've definitely all probably signed things that say you can't reveal details of the show. All of them are on TikTok 15 times a day going, here are 10 secrets about the boardroom you never knew. Like, but like you say, like the BBC is not going to, what are they going to do? Take them to court and try to send them to jail? Like, there's no recourse there. But it presents an interesting problem, I think, for the show.
Yes.
And I wonder if they'll have to like clamp them down harder in future or like put a clause, because in future they might have to be like, you're not allowed to post about the show while it's on or something.
But I do think more power to the contestants. Like, if you are made to look like a fool the way that TV can build you up and create villains. You know, when you're in a Love Island villa, you're powerless to how they edit. You don't have a voice because you're trapped in. This is coming out weekly and people have a voice, and like editing can be super sneaky.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always of two minds about this because editing definitely can be sneaky. I think it's definitely sneakier in like America. I think we have a bit more like, we have rules around this stuff. I think it's a little tighter. But like, there's always a limit to what you can do in editing. Like, if someone is just plainly saying something dumb, like they probably did say that. Like, you know, that thing people talk about, Frankenbiting, where you assemble sentences from edits. Like, I don't think that happens on The Apprentice in the same way.
I don't think it happens on The Apprentice in the same way, but contestants have come out and said, why would you pick green for a toothpaste brand? And they will say, we had no options.
Yeah.
We were told to pick green. And that's where it's different, because it's like when there was that toothpaste or something and it kind of looked like a poo or something. And they were like, why would you pick brown for that? And they were like, they made us pick brown. And that's where, the edit can only make you say a certain thing. And if you're awful to someone or something, bear in mind, they're also running on little sleep.
Yes.
It can only make you do so much. But if you are told to pick brown, they're intelligent enough to know that wouldn't be the first choice for like a toothpaste brand.
Yeah.
But if that's what they tell you to do, what do you do?
Yeah, I remember them literally saying like we weren't allowed to choose blue for this water logo.
You've got to give them some credit there.
I like I say, I come down in the middle. Like, again, I don't want bad things to happen to these people. You know, The Apprentice, it shouldn't like ruin your life.
No.
I do think sometimes the editing thing can be a little bit of a convenient excuse if you're like, oh, I didn't do very well at that task. Well, I think it was the editing.
I mean, Keir Shave was like, they never said it. Keir Shave came out and said that there was no footage of them saying that he was the worst in the pitch. So did it happen? It would be a bold lie. Look, we don't know. But
that is quite an assertion, because he's basically saying Baroness Brady fully lied about the brands not liking his pitch. I think it's a lot more likely the brands didn't like his pitch, which was bad.
I kind of love that he's like, this is the hill that I will die on. Like, I actually am like, I have to, it goes all the way back round where I kind of respect it that he's like, roll the tapes then. Where's the
release
receipts?
the footage.
One of my favourite parts of this week was Emma forgetting they didn't have the hot sauce when they were filming the commercial, where she was like, what if? And Mia being like, we don't have the bottle of hot sauce. And that frustration. And she's like, yeah, we could do this. Again, Emma, I'm going to tell you, we don't have the hot sauce. That interaction was genius from Mia. And also, Baroness Brady brought that up. She was like, that was innovative thinking, because I don't know what I would have done without a bottle of hot sauce. I thought it was very clever.
Yeah, because Emma and all the other people, very unhelpfully, were like, Mia, a trailer where someone's licking a plate, that doesn't seem appropriate. And Mia had to be like, I know it's not appropriate. What am I supposed to do? That brings us to, I think, our biggest topic of the week. There's been a grand mystery on The Apprentice this season. Who the hell is Emma?
Well,
who is Emma?
We don't know. We'll never know.
Now she's just gone as well.
I wonder if I would love to talk, and you know, if this podcast, if we ever get more hours in the day, we would love to talk to contestants and have them on. But like, I'm so always intrigued by people and how they feel about the edit that they were given in shows. Did she feel like she did a lot more and it wasn't shown? Did she feel like that was like a good reflection of what she did? Because she was just there. And she made it so far.
Yes.
And it's not as if like, okay, with the Traitors, you might be like, this was a character that we weren't really introduced to, but like, it's a task. So like, you have to do something.
She made it really far. I don't think she was ever in the boardroom. She was never in the firing line. Like, no one ever brought her back, did they?
No.
And it wasn't like they were editing around her in this like, she's problematic way. Like, she would pop up, but her edit basically was that she wasn't edited. Like, she wasn't in the show.
Maybe we need to go back and check. Maybe she'd won every week for the past 8 weeks or something, and she's just been on the treats. She faded into the background so much that I actually can't remember if she won or lost each time. I'm assuming she won, because otherwise surely someone would bring her back, because what was your contribution to this task?
That's kind of the best way to do it. Obviously, the best thing to do, I guess, is win. The other best thing to do is not really be in it much, get to do all the treats every week, and then you just leave. And like, it's not like it's damaged her reputation.
No.
In the nicest possible way. No one will ever know she was on this show.
No.
They didn't show her. It was really bizarre. It didn't feel like is it called a purple edit, where someone gets like a bad edit?
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was a bad edit. I don't think she was even edited around. I just think...
Well, she didn't have a lot of like talking heads. Like, there was a point...
Mia has a lot of talking heads.
Yeah, and like Amber Rose, like these other people are like more characters. Like, you feel like they've been developed, whereas I feel like they never really were focusing on Emma.
I'd be fuming if they were making me do the talking heads and then just not showing them.
I was thinking that because I think Liam did a talking head at one point, and I was like, wow, we haven't seen him in a while. And I'm like, are they making them all do it all the time?
Probably, because you need to tell a story.
But then they're just not using 99% of them.
It's only an hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to speed through a couple of other things that happened this episode. Who was the other woman in the prison when they were having the, can I say orgasm?
Yes, I think I think there's no other word for it.
When they were doing the kind of orgasms and Baroness Brady's face, I think she was watching them do the orgasm around the hot sauce, and I think she thought, this is it. This is my last. Go out on a low. and I think I need to be out of here because it was bad.
She's like, I am literally a super rich baroness.
Yeah.
I'm in a fake prison watching someone come.
I liked Malika drinking milk. I like
milk leaker.
Oh God. I like the show of hands when they were like, who would buy the hot sauce? And then they thought that they like hadn't heard the questions. They were like, sorry, just raise that hand if you would buy the hot sauce.
Do you know that that's a thing, that if you've had something really hot, you drink milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't think she was just drinking milk.
I thought you were just
She was filming a
tickled by
Got Milk ad. No, I understand that. I don't think it does anything. We also made a note that we were like, what did that policeman say? Which was then cleared up in the boardroom.
Yeah, I'm glad that they also couldn't understand it. It was like, bring back my hot sauce.
That sauce was delicious. Was that, who was in the ad? Was it Liam?
Yeah, he's like, I think I'll have to lick the plate clean.
Yeah.
It's a good sauce, Dan.
Alan Sugar saying they're both garbage.
They're both garbage. He had quite a sort of...
He was pissed.
He was pissed off, but he had quite a friendly, upbeat chat with them. And then he suddenly was like, he's like, I've just remembered they're both garbage. Because I think they maybe had planned to hopefully do a thing where they bring everyone back. And he was like, I need to be a lot more mad to facilitate this. So I've actually decided it's all garbage.
Garbage.
Also, Baroness Brady called him Alan, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
She gets to do that.
Yeah. Malika, you're a bit disruptive. Yes. I mean, that's correct. I like that she owned it. I was like, yeah, fair. I mean, she is.
Yeah, I know, but... and then what? You can't be like, I am disruptive.
And then obviously we went to the boardroom. We knew who was going quite early on. It was very clearly signposted. Like Tim said, Emma is the weakest link. So it was like, oh, I wonder who's going to go then. It was like, obviously Emma's going to go.
Well, they went through each person and then only two people, all of them had positive feedback except Malika and Emma. So it's like, well, there you go. There was no mystery about it.
They longed it out a bit for us as well, doing a bit of a chat. I was like, let's get rid of them. We know who's going.
I turned to you at one point and I was like, is this the longest boardroom ever? Like, I feel like half the episode was boardroom. Like, they actually got through the hot sauce quite fast.
I guess they thought it was really exciting that like both teams lost, two people going.
Is there anything more devastating than having Levi Roots of Reggae Sauce fame look you in the eye and just tear you apart? He was coming at them fierier than, dare I say it, a hot sauce. Sorry. And again, I don't know if you guys heard my joke there. As fiery as a hot sauce.
Show of hands who enjoyed that. And another show of hands.
And another show of hands who enjoyed the joke. Anyone?
Anyway, another wonderful episode of The Apprentice. Very, very entertaining, very enjoyable. Next week, we see my favourite, alongside the buying items.
You say every week, you're like, that's my favourite.
No. The buying items challenge and the QVC shopping channel are my two favourite. I've actually been invited to a QVC shopping event in a couple of weeks and I can't bloody wait.
Can I repeat the joke I made?
Yeah.
You were like, oh yeah, this event is at 4. And I was like, actually, it's at 3:30. Now it's at 3. Oh my God, it's just dropped to 2. Quite a good,
and we're sold out.
Quite a good joke, I thought.
So we will be back with you then. We'll first and foremost, we'll be back with the White Lotus on Monday. So where something better happen.
Something better happen on that damn show.
So love you. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.